Hello everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Paper Crafting Saturday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope everybody's well today. It's a beautiful day here in New England. It's very sunny and a little bit cool but not too cold. And we're getting very close to Valentine's Day, so I thought I would share with you a little Valentine treat box. And I've got a kind of a vague idea of how I want to do this. I haven't figured it all out yet, so we're going to be doing that together. So for my palette, I have Poppy Parade, Calypso Coral, and Mint Macaron. And I also have that watercolor DSP that I made earlier, so I think I'll be using some of this. I've gone ahead and I've die cut a little bit of paper lace. Let's see if I can show you what this looks like because it's so beautiful. So I did this ahead of time because it takes a minute to pop out all of these little pieces. And I'll show you the die. It comes from the Two-Tone Flora stamp set. And you get a lot of dies with this set. So you get dies for the flowers, so these framelets, but you also get this great big overall die. And so what I did was I cut out a corner of it, and then I with my snips I went around and I cleaned up the edges so it had a pretty edge. And I also have this stamp set, Shaded Summer, because I think that these two sets go so nicely together. Okay, and excuse me, I also have, for reference, I have this card that I made a couple of weeks ago, and when I made this card I ended up with a lot of extras because I always like to cut out extra dies and stamps and so forth, so I have things that I can use. I also have some things that are from this set, the Country Bouquet. And the Country Bouquet set has some DSP, which is the designer series paper, which coordinates with the set, so I was able to punch out some additional shapes with my Country Bouquet punch. And then I also have these two punches, which are the double heart pack punches. So those are the supplies that I have handy, and as we go along I may decide that I want to do something a little bit differently, but I just wanted to show you what my inspiration was. And then I've got an assortment of various embellishments. These are called the Iridescent Pastel Gems, and I thought these colors would be really pretty with this palette. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to clear off my surface here so that I can be organized. I'm going to check my settings, make sure everything is live here. And that looks good. And I see Kelly and Linda and Vicky. Hello ladies, I hope you're having a nice day so far. I saw a box, and I'm sorry I can't remember who posted the box on the page, but it was a really cute box because, and I have a prototype here somewhere. Here it is. So, so if you've been following along with me for a while, you know that when I do a prototype, I'll typically do it in craft paper or crumb cake. And then when I figure out the basic ideas, I will then go to my color palette and my prettier papers. So what I liked about the idea of this box is that it has a lid that opens up to reveal a place where you can put a message. So it's sort of a card and a box all in one. And I designed it to measure 4 by 3 by 1, and that uses a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper perfectly. Actually, we're going to lose half an inch. So the you're going to start with a piece of paper that measures 8 by 11. So let's do that. I'm going to get my trimmer out. And I'm just going to remove half an inch. And then, using my trimmer, I'm going to score. So the score places are, if I turn it on its side lengthwise, I'm going to score it at 3, at 4, and I'm going to have to open up my arm on my trimmer. And then I'm going to go to 7, and 8, I'm going to turn it this way, and now I'm going to score it at 1. I want to make sure I get that lined up at the bottom as well so that it's nice and straight. So there's 1, and at 2, at 6, and then 1 more at 7. Okay, so that is our scoring done. And oh, hello and thank you for your birthday wishes. Today is my birthday. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm glad to have you here to celebrate it with me. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of people here now. Hey, Becky, and thank you. Thank you. And Judy from Pennsylvania. Good to have you here, Judy. And Kelly and Vicky, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a nice day today, and I'm really glad to be able to spend a chunk of time with you today. So this is what we have so far, and I'm going to go ahead, excuse me, I'm going to fold it so that you can see it a little bit better. Isn't it funny how the older we get, the more shocked we are at how old we are? I mean, I really don't feel my age. I'm sure if you saw me, you know, walking around, it wouldn't be any surprise. But inside, you know, I sure don't feel it. Okay, so now we end up with a configuration that looks something like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trim away. Well, let's just go along the long side first. So I'm just going to take my snips. I'm going to cut on each of these score lines up until the second one. So I'm going to go past the first and continue up. It's been a while since I've made a box. I really love making boxes. That's kind of how I got into paper crafting in the first place. When I was a very little girl, very little, like around 3 years old, I had a great aunt Flossie who showed me how to make boxes, and I was mesmerized. I thought it was pure magic. And so my father was a printer, and he used to always bring home reams of paper for me to be able to draw with. And I took an entire ream of paper and I folded it into boxes the way my Aunt Flossie showed me. And then I was thinking about making this box for you today, and I was remembering an old friend of mine. His name was Jimmy McNally, and this goes way back to when I was about 15 years old or so, and he made me a box that was so creative. It was some kind of, and I wish I still had it. I don't, but it was a very whimsical, zany kind of a box that was decorated on the outside, and then it opened up and it had all sorts of unusual and odd things. It was just full of surprises. And I love that element of a box, you know, that present when you give it to somebody and it looks so beautiful and intriguing on the outside, and they don't know what's on the inside, and kind of unpeeling all those layers and then getting to the surprise inside, you know, which could be something as simple as chocolate or a piece of candy, or you know, just some little thing. But I love the whole idea of the presentation. So that's why I'm excited to be doing a box with you here today. So this is my cuts so far. And the next thing I want to do is I want to remove the four corners. So I'm just going to go like so on all four sides. So there we go. Now we have something that looks like this. Then I'm going to go to these next little squares and remove those. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to put a little angle cut on these tabs. So I'm just going to come in, oh, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch, and then bring it to that point so that you're losing just a little sliver. You can't see that very well. Let me do it again. Okay, so just a little sliver that looks like this. And you're going to do that on these square tabs and also on this outer tab or flap right here. Okay, so Just make your way around. And you do this to remove some of the bulk of the paper. So in engineering, something like this would be called gain, which is the more you, in this case, the more you fold something, the more area you need to accommodate the bulk of the material. So we're just going to go around. Oh, and by the way, this color that I'm using is called Poppy Parade, and it's a really nice, bright red. Sort of a scarlet red color. So there it is. Let me just get these pieces out of the way. All right, so that's what our box base looks like. All right, and then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to grab my trio punch, the one that has the corner rounder on it, and I'm going to round 2 of these corners. Just like that, and that's for the inner flap. That's just so that it folds in a little more easily. And then this comes together something like this, and that's our box. Okay, very basic, very easy, all one piece. Now, the next thing I want to do is to figure out how I'm going to decorate the box. And this is where I haven't really figured everything out yet. So we're going to do this together. I have that pretty piece of lace here, which I was thinking of using on the top, something like that. So I'm just thinking. Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. Becky says I'm only 29. Yeah, 29 plus about 60. Wait a minute. Plus about 40, 39 more, I think, is if I'm doing the math properly. And Beverly says, happy birthday, Leslie. Can't stay. Oh, thank you so much, Beverly. I'm so glad that you were able to stop in for a minute. And Teresa from Baton Rouge, hello, and thank you so much. Yeah, actually, before we go to this stage, I want to pause for a minute because I'm just reminded that I have some beautiful Valentine cards to share with you. I'm looking at some of the people out there, and I'm remembering that I got cards from some people. So let's take a quick look at those. So I think you can see, I still have them in the plastic, but I think you can make them out. And let's see, where are the other ones? I have some more to show you too. We had a couple of swaps, and I don't remember how many of these cards I've shared with you so far, but I thought it would be fun to just look at them quickly. So here was a swap with the Dandelion. I think this was the Dandelion Cottage design team. Now I'm getting mixed up if it was Dandelion Paper Pals or Dandelion Cottage design team. That's terrible. You see, you shouldn't. So maybe that's my age catching up with me. But anyway, this is with the Dainty Delights paper, and you can see how beautiful. So this is from Abby, and she's got a die cut from the DSP plus the deckled rectangle framelets for the sentiment, and those beautiful little brass butterfly elements which go so nicely with the Dainty Delights. Look how pretty that is, just gorgeous. This is another one of the DSP papers from the Dainty Delights that you can get for free. This is one of the items you can get free until the end of February with a $50 or more order. So I will have all of that information posted in the comments after I do the video today. And then here's that other beautiful paper, and I don't remember the name of this paper. Somebody out there will probably remember, but this is a great way to use up your scraps of DSP when you've just got smaller pieces. And what she's done is she's created a kind of a starburst effect. And I think I know whose card this is, but I just want to make sure that I don't say the wrong thing. Oh no, it doesn't say on there. Teresa, is that your card? I think it's Teresa's. Okay, so that's why it's good to have your name on the back when you do these swaps. Now here is a beautiful card from another Teresa, and this time using the In the Country hearts and also that beautiful punch on the corners, so that has this wonderful distinctive shape, and she's listed all the different this is the New Country Bouquet Punch Stamp Set. This card's wonderful. This one is featuring that same lace background that I just showed you that I'll be using today. Also with the two-tone flowers, the beautiful that's that shimmery card specialty paper. So pretty. It's beautiful. And this is from Charlotte. Now we've got another of the Country Bouquet on a beautiful scallop circle, and this is again from Abby. So pretty, beautiful soft tones, the mint macaron, I think that's petal pink. And then she's also done some heat embossing right on the DSP with white, and it looks beautiful. What a great idea, love that. And then look at this stunning card, beautiful colors. Again, Calypso Coral, I believe, and maybe a little mixed in with a little bit of, could be Flirty Flamingo, I'm not sure, but just gorgeous. And now you can see the way that two-tone stamp works with that, let me show you, because this is really interesting, I think. So here is the Country Bouquet, and you see you have a two-tone or two-step stamp. So one stamp has all the leaves, so that you could do that with some kind of a green, and then the other stamp you just stamp over the top of with the flowers and the hearts. So you get this wonderful, wonderful kind of effect. So you can see it here with various different color palettes, how pretty that is. And then I have a collection of antique Valentines that my Valentine got for me, so I'll share those with you since I have them right in front. And I don't know that these have any dates on them, but these are actual original antique Valentines, and I don't know if the camera will pick up, there is some gold on there that's very pretty. So it has this kind of a shimmery, yeah, I don't think the camera's picking that up, but they're very pretty. Look at this one with this beautiful little boy with the forget-me-nots. Love that. So some really, oh, here's a date. Let's see if we can make this out. 1907, I think. It's a double impression there, but I'm pretty sure it's 1907. So these are over 100 years old. Okay, all right. So that was my quick intermission to share with you some of the Kelly says favored flowers. Oh, fragrant flower. Oh, the DSP, fragrant flowers. Thank you. Okay, that was what that other DSP was. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're going to put this together. So I want to create an aperture, and so this is the lid of my box. Let me zoom you out a tiny bit. And I want this to be on here. So I'm going to glue that. I'm going to start by gluing that down. And I have my silicone craft sheet here because this is so fine that otherwise I would make a mess. So let me find a glue that is opened. Okay, maybe we need to open one. I was very busy making a lot of Valentines this week, and so I went through a lot of glue. So I'm just going to dot this on here like so. I feel like there's so much that's been going on. I've been really busy, but I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. We've been doing a lot of reorganization and cleanup in the craft room, and it's looking really good. I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm getting ready to present a number of really exciting workshops that I'm very interested in. So one of them is going to be at long last that how to make a hardbound journal. So that's coming up very soon. If you're not on my mailing list, please go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to notes from Dandelion Cottage, because that's how I announce all my classes, workshops, and specials that I have coming up. And so you want to make sure you're on the list for that, and I will also post that link after I'm done with the video today so that you can just click on it. But I've got the hardbound journal class, and then there's also going to be a watercolor sketch class, because we're going to be getting ready to go and do some plein air sketching with our sketchbooks. So I'm going to show you how to quickly do that, and I do have those cards actually right in front of me, so I can give you a sneak peek. So that is going to look something like this. All right, so how to do a quick landscape study. And I'm looking for my little tweezers. Where'd they go? There they are. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this up from this side. All right. Just going to line the straight edge up with the top. It's going to be a little bit asymmetrical, and that's fine. Pick up some of the excess glue. There it is. And then I just want to check to make sure that all these little edges are adhered down, and that looks good. All right, so that's the kind of texture that I'm adding to the background of the card. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm using my heart scallop punch, and do I want this color? Yeah, we'll go with this. I'm going to punch out that, and then I'm going to use this. Oh, you know what? I think it'll be easier if I do it this way. I'm going to do it this way first, and then use my scallop punch. Get that lined up. That looks pretty good. And that's going to give me this little heart frame. Okay. Get off some of the excess glue. And now I'm going to get this right in the middle. And now that little scalloped frame is going to help me to see where my heart aperture is going to be. Right, and that's going to give me this really pretty lacy heart. All right, so then I have these extras, which I'll be able to use, and in fact, that would be really pretty on there. Okay, so there is the top of my box. Looks like that. And I have this little decorative corner here that I think would be really pretty. Like so. Like so. All right, so that looks like that now. And now underneath here, on this flap that's going to be showing, I'm going to get my DSP that I made, and I want to find that looks really pretty. So I think I'm going to go there. So let me just trim that away. I'm going to cut this at 3. Now normally with the watercolor paper I would tear it, but in this case I'm going to be cutting it down, so I'm not too worried about the deckled edge. Okay, that's good. And then, where's my measurer? So this is 4, so I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. So there it is, 3 3/4, and this is going to be 2 3/4. Alright, so I can glue that down. Find my bone folder. Give that a good burnish. Okay, so this is how everything looks now. Now the next thing to consider is whether or not I want to line the box, and I think I do. Okay, so I still have a piece of this paper that I painted, and I think that would be really pretty in the bottom of the box here. So let's get that started. Just going to trim off this end to make it square. So now I have a place to measure from. And the box is, the outer dimension of the box is 3 by 4, but I need to make this just a tiny bit smaller so that it fits in nicely when the box is folded together. So I'm going to actually cut this at about 3 and just a 1/16 of an inch shy of 4. And the same thing, a 1/16 of an inch shy of 3. Going to go ahead and glue that down. Actually, before I do, I want to clean up that edge. Got a little bit of a fuzzy edge here that I just want to clean up. Oops, went right off the page there. I see Karen here. Hi, Karen. Glad to have you with us. Now, this doesn't really matter which way I put it in. I'm just going to do just like that. And I want to be sure that all of my score marks are free so that the folds aren't covered up by this extra card that I just put in. And what all of these different layers do is to really help the box to stay nice and sturdy. And I like that because I hope that, you know, the people that get these pretty boxes decide to keep them. and maybe use them for a little keepsake box or something like that. So let's just do a quick check, see how this looks so far. So there it is. All right, so I think we can go ahead and assemble the box. I'm going to go ahead and do one side at a time. That lined up. My glue is coming out really fast because it's a brand new bottle, so I'm getting a little excess here. I'm just making sure that my corners are nice and square. I'm just going to hold that for a moment while that sets up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'll go to the other side. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, this is going to be a fancy box. I thought that with my birthday and Valentine's Day just around the corner, that it would be fun to do something a little bit extra. And also because I've been using a lot of these dies and stamp sets, I've accumulated quite a nice little goodie bag of extras for decoration, and we're going to be getting to the decoration part in just a moment as soon as this sets up. Make sure that my corners look nice. Got a little bit of extra here that I could trim away. Okay, now using my bone folder, I'm going to go ahead and burnish that down, and that just kind of locks everything into place. Make sure that the glue is spread nicely. And now when you see me making what I call a reinforced box, I'll typically take these flaps and I will fold them over the tabs to cover up those and glue them down. But in this case, I'm not going to do that, and it's important that you don't. And the reason you don't want to glue these down is because they are going to be adding extra support to the flaps, the top two flaps, since they don't have side pieces, you see. So you want to have that little bit extra support holding those things in place. So that's it. That's the basic box. And everything else we're going to do now is going to be purely for decoration, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let me get you organized. Oops, too much, sorry. Just want to get it so that you can see everything. Okay, so now I have a number of elements and things that I'd like to include here. So I really like this little heart, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. This is the heart that we punched out of the lid that has that little bit of lace on it, which is so pretty. So I'm going to layer this up onto the scallop. This punch pack, which is the it comes in a double set. So you have the straight edged heart and you've got the scalloped edge heart, and they fit together just like this. So you get that wonderful little scalloped edge around the heart punch out, and it's just charming. And this is a set that has been available for a year or two, and they typically don't carry over for more than a couple of years. So if you like this punch pack, heart punch pack, then I would really recommend that you get it sooner than later, because these things can run out and there's never a guarantee that they're going to be available again. And I think this is one of those tools that you'll want to have handy over time. So I really recommend this one. Now, I'm thinking that it would be really fun to do something like this. Okay, so I do like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. It's Houdini complaining. He's hungry. I forgot to feed him this morning, so he's going to be letting me know. All right, now before I put this down, you know what I want to do? I just want to put a little pencil mark so I can see exactly where it goes. And then I can slide it into shape, into place once I get it. So I'll put that like so, and then bring this down. And I think those, where did my tweezers go? There they are, under the punch. So I can just sort of pull that into position. Alright, so I'm going to look at that closely, and that looks good. Alright, so when you're happy with where that is, give it a good burnishing. There it goes. Okay, so there is how this is looking so far. And I'm going to need another piece for the bottom. So for that, I think I'm going to use, let's see, what kind of scraps do I have here? I'm going to use a piece of the Poppy Parade, and I'm going to cut this down to 3 7/8 and 2 7/8. So it's just slightly smaller than the bottom. Okay, so just a 1/16 of an inch clearance. And then what I can do is I can grab my ribbon. So I found this old ribbon, and this is a Calypso Coral ribbon. It's called the sheer ribbon, and it's only 1/8 of an inch, so it's very delicate. And I thought that would look perfect with this lacy trim on the top. So, but you could use whatever ribbon you have. If you don't have this, I think that the crinkled white seam binding would work just as well. So I'm just going to grab a length of this, and then on here, now, because the design on the lid is asymmetrical, and we have this place over here, let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see that better. I want the bow to be here, okay? So that means that the ribbon is going to have to go on about the 1/3 line. So with my double stick tape, I'm going to put that right about there. And I want my bow to be over on that right hand side. So let's see how this works, see if this is where I want it positioned. And that looks fine. Okay, so now I can take my glue I love the liquid glue. I use it pretty much exclusively for my boxes and for my cards. Okay, so now I just want to make sure I get this in the right place. And there's my ribbon attached to the box. I like to do that so that the ribbon doesn't get misplaced when the recipient opens the box. They're able to not drop the ribbon. And then I'm just going to grab my clear block, use that to burnish that bottom panel. And now, of course, the bottom of the box is 3 layers thick, so it's very sturdy, and it's starting to have some, a nice little heft to it, so it feels solid. Okay, it's nice. Okay, now let's find that goodie bag with all the pretty flowers in it. There we go. I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quickly because I've already been on for just about an hour. And even though I try to go a little bit longer on Saturdays, I know that you're probably anxious to get back to doing whatever it was that you were doing today. So I actually have these nice heart sentiments, and I'm thinking it would be really fun to put one at the bottom of the box. And so I've got the love. I think I'm going to use the love. I also have Know That You Are Loved, but I'm going to go with this pink loved one and add the like the scalloped edge. Give that just a minute to set up. Then glue that down. Oh, I could put it there too. Oh, decisions, decisions. I think I'm going to put it here. And put it on the inside flap. All right. Cute. Very cute. Okay. So that's going to be the inside of my box done. Now, of course, if you wanted to add a little note in there, you could do that. And I may or may not do that. I'm not sure. But before I close up the box, I want to put something in it. All right. And it just so happens that I have these beautiful little Dove chocolates that are just the right color to match our color scheme here. And I'm going to put in 6, but I did test, and it is possible to double these up, so you could actually put 12 Dove chocolates in there if you wanted to, or you could probably maybe put a couple of Kit Kat chocolate bars, or some Ghirardelli, so whatever your favorite is. Maybe even some Kisses would fit in there. So there that is. I'm going to tie this shut. This is a very fine ribbon. This isn't easy to do. There we go. All right. And I'm going to just trim the tails a little bit. I'm going to leave them a little bit on the long side. I like longer tails because first of all, if they start to fray, and if you want to trim them up, you can you have a ways to go. But I also just like the way the ribbon drapes. And now finally what I want to do is I just want to add some of these flowers for decoration. I'm not going to put too much on here. I kind of like the green in the corner. Let's see, got some other smaller pieces here. Kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and put that down on there. And this green is actually Pear Pizzazz. And I think, if I remember correctly, let's see, how do I want to grab this? I think I want to grab it from this side. If I remember correctly, I stamped it with the Mossy Meadow. So it was a paler green, and then stamped with a darker green. And I'm just going to put that like so. I want to make sure there's no glue over here. So I want that to overlap the aperture. Get that off of there. There we go. That's really pretty. Okay, I like that so much, I think I'm going to do it again. So let's do something like that. I'm just going to, so here's a little tip. So when you're doing something and you're adding glue and you don't want glue in a certain area, just put your thumb in the place where you don't want the glue to be, and that way you'll remember which leaf or whatever. Okay, we're almost in the home stretch here. We are in the home stretch. We're almost done. Okay, I'm just blotting off some of that excess glue. How fun is that? So cute. All right, and then I don't think I want these giant flowers, but one of these smaller ones would be pretty. And I am going to add a little extra dimension to this by just snipping some of these petals so that they're free. So I'm just going around the shape of the flower. And that way I can use my bone folder to just give them a little extra curl. And I'll grab a dimensional for this. All of the supplies that I'm using today I will list after the video. So if you missed anything or if you have any questions, you just click on the supply list and you'll see everything come up there. There we go. All right. Oh, I do have this smaller leaf. I think I'll tuck that in underneath there. And again, give that a little bit of a curl. And I'm just going to put glue on the point, like so. And I'll just tuck that under. All right, so there it is. We'll close that up and we'll add a couple of those beautiful iridescent gems. I forgot what their name is. I'll let you know in just a second. Let's see how this looks with the bow. I didn't do a good job on the bow there. Hang on. I've got glue on my fingers and this thin ribbon is sticking to my fingers, making it extra hard. All right, so let's clear the way. And take a look at these beautiful iridescent pastel gems. So I just got these and I'm kind of excited about them because the colors are so pretty. So I'm just going to add a couple of these, not too many. I'm going to take one of these great big red ones, put that right down there, and take a little one. You get 2 different sizes and 3 different colors, and they're really pretty. I'm just going to dot them around a little bit. I'll put another red one over here. Okay. So there is my very fancy Valentine box for you today. All right, and I did use the Poppy Parade and the Calypso Curl for most of it. I ended up using the Pear Pizzazz cardstock with the Mossy Meadow inking, and then opens up like so, and that beautiful heart drops out, and there it is, and there's your sentiment and your wonderful surprise on the inside of your Dove chocolates. Oops, let me stick that down better. I didn't squeeze it. There we go. And then of course that ribbon is adhered nicely on the bottom. So I hope this gave you some ideas, and if you decide to do something like this, as always, I would love, love, love to see what you do. So please, if you're not in the Dandelion Paper Pal group and you'd like to share your creations that are inspired by something that you see here, you're welcome to join the group. All you have to do is leave a message in the comments down below so I know who you are, and then search on Facebook for the Dandelion Paper Pals and ask to be invited in, and I will let you into the group. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really had a lot of fun making it. It really is pretty. This lacy background is just exquisite. I'm going to check over here, see if there's any questions. Oh my goodness, lots and lots more people. Wow, everybody. All right, so we've got, Sherry says, wow, this is a super fancy box. Yes, it is. And Kelly likes the gift box. Becky says, love the box with a built-in card, extra pretty. Yeah, it is really nice to have all those different layers unfold. Deb, hey Deb, hi, she says happy birthday. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I hope you're having a happy new year, and I know you've been so busy with all those crops you go to. That's so cool. And here's Jan, and she says, the box is just gorgeous. Thank you for sharing your time with us on your special day. Well, thank you, everybody, for sharing my birthday with me. I really appreciate it. And I just love having you all here. And Becky says, hope your birthday and Valentine's Day are both special. Well, they already are. Thank you. Okay, and here's Tommy. Tommy made it, yay. And she says, I'm inspiring her. Well, I'm delighted to hear that, Tommy. That's cool. All right. So thank you again, everybody. I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. I hope that you shower all the people around you with all sorts of wonderful Valentines and chocolates and surprises. Stay well. Stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.